I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. I have been trying to wrap my head around some of the occurrences that I see in our society and social media. Along this road, a secondary school that my children attended has been converted to a lounge where people will drink. And around this town, the commonest business is drinking sports lounges. And around Delta State and Nigeria, it is like that. In the evenings around the GRO in Port Harcourt, you will see cars parked. People are drinking, dancing. You go along Refinery Road near the Ekpa police station, you will see a lot of cars and people. I don't know of Ojuelegba and other places in Lekki, in the Lekki axis. But in as much as our country is undergoing a lot of challenges, we seem to have this jaye jaye syndrome, Jekuronko, eat and die. And one a pandemic that we're going to have in this country is drug addiction, the drug problem. Drug problem. So many young people are on drugs. The other thing is prostitution. So many young people are into hookup, gigolo business, and even agege and Gabriel issues. The Bible says in the last days that people will be lovers of pleasure and not lovers of God. So the intensity, the way people pursue pleasure is so intense that people like me get worried. Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17 says that he who loves pleasure will be poor. You just like will be poor. So, what really is pleasure? It is a feeling of enjoyment and satisfaction, usually from external stimulus, comes from outside. Can come from food, sex, music, shopping, entertainment of all kinds. So as a result of external stimulus. And once the external stimulus is gone, you will need another stimulus. And most times you need a higher stimulus. And that's why there's the addiction. There is the happiness chemical in the body in the brain called dopamine. Dopamine is released, it causes happiness. It causes happiness, causes motivation. And once dopamine is released, this euphoric feeling comes, the pleasurable feeling comes. And once the stimulus is removed, the dopamine level falls. And when it falls, there is a low. You will need sometimes a higher stimulus, if not most times, a higher stimulus to reach the height you were before and to surpass it. So that's where addiction comes in. And once there is addiction, you are now a slave to that thing. You keep desiring more of it, more of it. And pleasure is expensive. It's expensive. Costs money, costs time, takes drains your energy, drains your spirit, and it can destroy relationships. And many times when it becomes selfish and narcissistic, it can lead to harm to yourself, to people around you, and to the environment. I had a young man. He would take there's one thing he calls whether ice cream or ice. He would take it, come to me drunk, like that. I bought properties from him. I was always canceling him. Recently, they sold the property and he was drunk and high. He was crossing the road. He crossed to go and buy something. They wanted to share money. As he was crossing back, he didn't look well. And somebody in a lady's bike hit him on the highway and he died. Gone. All I had been telling him, gone with the wind. Left little children and a young wife behind. Gone with the wind. He lit his candle and put it in the wind, candle in the wind. Some people light it from both ends. If you go around this town in the evening till 1 a.m., boom, 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 you see them, it is terrible. You have pool parties where girls will swim naked and men will sit down throwing money at them. Some of these men are from wretched homes. These girls are from wretched homes. Some are from rich homes. Just be throwing money. Now, poverty is not only absence of money, the poverty of the mind, poverty of the soul, where you can degenerate to a level you don't fear God, you are controlled by the instincts from the midbrain, the amygdala, the same level of operation of the animal brain. So, but joy, on the other hand, stems from inside, comes from inside you, like as I talked about the palm tree that grows from inside. It is independent of external stimulus. And that's why James chapter 1 verse 24 looks crazy. It says, count it all joy when you pass through various forms of temptation. If you read it further, it says that it will build character in you. And when it builds character in you, it will form you. So inside joy, there is hope and there is faith. There is hope for the future. Inside joy, joy involves more of giving to others. I will illustrate later. But pleasure comes from people receiving. And so, however, joy is ethereal, is supernatural, beyond the senses, it is internal, is independent of what is around you, comes from within. There is a time for everything. Let me say this before I go into there's a time for everything. If it is only in this world or in this moment that we believe God for, we are men most miserable. When I was going through challenges, when we were building the businesses, including this residence, a lot of things went around us, a lot of pain, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of name calling, all kinds of delayed gratification. But today, I can enjoy this place with my wife. When I was doing it, there was this joy. Whether it is masochism, I don't know, but there was this joy of going through this pain because there was hope. There is a future. And I also know that my life is in God's hands. I did a video on desperation. There is a time for everything. During our 80th anniversary, Old Students Association anniversary, I was observing people. those I knew before, those I knew in secondary school, those behind me, I could see that those that ran after the satisfaction of this body when they were young are far, far below those who thought about the future, far, far below. We had the same opportunities, same school fees. We even did the same rascality, but the intensity and the interest with which these people pursued pleasure was so much that they, they lost track. So when you are young, there are some things you must concentrate on. As even as you get older, there are things you concentrate on in life. Number one, derive joy from obedience. As a child, obedience to your parents, obedience to school regulations, obedience to the laws of the land. Derive joy. Let it come from you, from excellence. Oh, when the exams stimulated me, and reading for them was a thing of joy, and then passing was a thing of joy. When I made the best result in physics, no, second best result in physics in the whole arms of Form 5 government college, our last year in the mock exam, I scored 95%. Dr. Chelly, the cardiothoracic surgeon, scored higher than I did. Gave me joy because I found it difficult to know physics in the beginning, particularly moments. And then one of the days I was just reading it in the prep hall and I struck moments. That's this needed distance times the weight, this distance times this weight here, distance times this weight from the fulcrum. They need to balance. So I got it and I was so happy. Joy. And then geography was very difficult for me. I didn't pass it until Form 4. And then I made the best result in the whole 4 arms of Form 4 in my 4th year. And I made an A in geography. So that joy of making a Division 1, that joy, it is there of bringing my father's dream to fruition, joy. So derive joy from excellence. Derive joy from responsibility when you are responsible. Derive joy from integrity. Derive joy from service to humanity, to God, to your environment. And then the pursuit of purpose. Then derive joy from patriotism. There is one thing that affected me. During my National Youth Service year at Owerri, the Golden Eaglets won the Kodak Trophy. And I asked myself, if these young boys can bring so much joy to this country, I must bring joy to this nation. Bring joy to wherever I am, whoever I meet. So I formed this philosophy. I will live everywhere and every person I meet or get to better than I got there. And the more I did it, the more joy I derived, despite the difficulties and the challenges around me. So pursuit of purpose and patriotism. I wonder how people can steal government money and be at peace. You refuse to do a project, you collect the money, and you're at peace. No, I won't have peace even if I drive a Rolls Royce. We derive joy from, I've said it, derive joy from academic laurels. But you can derive pleasure from sports, from camping, from fellowship groups, and all that. And at that younger level, you must avoid those things that can lead to the derailment of your life. It is God that saved some of us. The story could have been different. I did a video. The story could have been different. When I reflect on where I'm coming from, I always thank God that his grace and his mercy kept me. It could have been different. So, lovers of pleasure are not lovers of God. In this dispensation, people love enjoyment more than they love God. But the Bible says, the joy of the Lord is my strength. When several things are happening around you, the joy that you are doing God's will, you are serving God's purpose, you are serving humanity, you are intentionally pursuing the reason why you were created, you find out that your strength is renewed. Everything must be done with appropriateness and moderation. We're not saying that you should be a monk, but everything you do as a child of God must be done with appropriateness and with moderation. You must always weigh the consequences. You must always weigh the consequences. What will this result in? What will come out of it? Weigh the consequences. Somebody used to tell me, play now and you pay later. Pay now and you will play later. I can have fun, clean fun as much as I want because I paid the price much earlier. Paid the price much earlier. If I had played with the opportunities and the challenges that faced me, I would have been in pain now. It's so painful when you reach this age bracket that you are going to beg, you are going to solicit for support, you are needing this and that, and you can't meet them. The future starts now, according to SCOA. The way you make your bed, that's how you will lie on it in old age. Enjoyment, not the run. I remain Dr. Charles Apoki. Please subscribe to this channel. We have our webinar coming up on the 7th and on the 8th of February. Send the message to +234 80 21 21 92 62, and the administrator will register you for the webinar. And if you want to join the Citizens Forum, send a message to the same number. We have properties for sale, send a message to the same number, +234 80 21 21 92 62. God bless you.